Hi, I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of the Chakra Life Cycle System, and welcome to your second Chakra Life Cycle. Now this one goes from ages 8 to 14, and likely if you're watching, you're a parent, you're actually watching for your child, but you can also think back to when you were at this age, and I think it will all make sense. I'm going to talk often just saying her as a pronoun. Sometimes I might say her or him, but most of the time I'll probably just say her or she. So please, if you have a male child, or if you yourself are a man watching this and thinking back to your own age 8 to 14 cycle, please just change the pronoun in your mind, because I have to make a pick and I decided to go with the feminine, to go with something different. All right, so I am here in Denver, Colorado, and I'm at City Park, and this is such a beautiful park, and it's so welcoming to children. I'm looking right in front of me, there's a playground area. Right over here out in front of the Natural Museum of Science is a fountain where kids in the summer run, and the fountain comes up and they avoid it. And then behind me over here is a fountain as well, and a beautiful lake. It's just perfect because the second chakra is the divine feminine sacral chakra in your hips, and its element is water. Water, unlike rock, earth was the element of the first chakra that we just did, the cycle we just did, and that is all about stability and foundation and safety and protection. You can just feel it. It's like this. Water is the opposite. Water moves around rock, moves around earth. Water is playful, feminine. Water deals with another. So whereas the first cycle is about rock-like, being one, being responsible, being stable, learning about self, the second chakra is about, and also one is about work, right? 2 is about play and joy and other and intimate relationships and emotions and just the storm of emotions, the movement that moves through our life. It's about the movement. Remember, emotions, the word motion is in there. Okay, so you get the feel for that. Your child's literally going, or you are if you're looking at this looking back, is literally going at this time from stability and safety and security and the known into the unknown, the playful, from the self into relationship with the other, into more of the staid. I mean, obviously children have imagination, but now it goes kind of wild if they want it to. And this is the time where your child will burgeon if he or she is an artist. Like, this is a time of great creativity, great play. The key here is to make sure that it stays fun. Sometimes kids can get so obsessive, or parents can get so obsessive about a particular activity that it loses its natural joy. And the reason a child goes towards something in the first place is because it's joyful. So make sure to keep the play in there. Make sure to keep the fun. If you're involved with your child in anything creative, make sure that you're not making it too serious, too important, too often. Okay? Get what I'm saying? This is also a time of great hormonal development. So that's why it's also the sexual chakra. It's the intimacy chakra. It's when we build our reproductive, or I shouldn't say build, our reproductive abilities grow from within, and as our life is shaped by this sacral energy. So the women will go into having a period, and the boys will become fertile and become more sexually drawn and even active near the end of the cycle. So this is not a time to put your head in the sand as a parent. This is a time to be very aware of these sensual energies that will start as gender identity and crushes, and then mini relationships. And it's your job to pay attention to these shifts and moves for your child, so that you can be there to make this a healthy thing, to make sexuality sacred, not bad, to make it something that they can talk about and be aware of. And if you do it often enough and make it normal enough, then when you have the talk, there is no the talk, there's just conversations about a natural part of life. I really recommend that. It's kind of like, if you don't talk about it at all and then you have the big talk, it's like the dirty secret you're revealing. But if you sort of just slowly pepper it in throughout these years and let your child feel natural about reproduction, about sexuality, you're going to do a lot better than the schools are doing, right? Than the typical school. And if you're teaching in a school where it's great, good for you. Please don't take that personally. I'm sure there's wonderful teachings out there. I think in general, though, we need to teach better sexuality. Okay, and we need it to be okay. The other thing is emotions are going to grow during this whole cycle, so be aware of that. Be as supportive as you can of your child's emotions, because the palette that you allow her to feel now is the palette she's going to have pretty much for life. This is the emotional foundational aspect. When she was 2, a lot of that was built when she was in her 1-2 cycle, but now it's going to be super important for her as an adolescent. What can she feel? What's okay? What's welcomed? Try to welcome it all. If there's emotions you're not okay with, try to work with that inside of yourself so that you don't put that on your child, that you let your child have the full palette of emotions. I know you're conscious. If you're watching this, I know you care. You're conscious and you care, and I know you also are able to transform. So that's why I'm speaking to you in this way. Every generation we can make things better, right? Okay, so let's talk about your child's years 8 to 14. The first cycle is 2-1 at age 8. Now, at age 8, what we have is a shift, but it's not as radical as you would think, because the 1 is still there. Get it? 2-1. The 1 that was responsible for the entire period before, 1 through 7, is still here. So your child still has that foundational thing. That 1 is still a little bit of safety, a little bit of home, a little like not quite ready to venture out in the world. Nevertheless, the predominant cycle now is 2, which is the one that wants variety and change and wants to make friends and venture outside the house now. Begin to think about having sleepovers and longer play dates and things like that. Okay, so you're going to see this contradiction within. Once in a while your child's going to want to be a little more safe, but there's going to be more variety, and I really want you to invite the variety, since that is the incoming cycle that's going to go for the next 7 years, versus just the safety feeling, which is it's fading out now. That cycle needs to fade out for a while, the root energy. Okay, so the 2-1 specifically is going to be also about beginning creative things, because 2 is creativity, or beginning to become more aware or more emotive, more aware of emotions or more emotive. So again, you want to support that. 1 is home, so there might be some creativity around the home, and also there's this intimacy. This is a great time for you to get closer with your child, because she understands more now, and she's also in this phase where she wants one-on-one. She now wants one-on-one. If you have other children in the family, you can't just have all family time. She needs one-on-one during this 8 to 14, and particularly in this 2-1, as she shifts into her intimacy, friendship, relationship cycle. So give her more one-on-one. Okay, and encourage play a lot. Don't let her overwork. Don't let her carry any too much seriousness over if she's that kind of child. And some are, right? Some will naturally want to play, and then all you got to do is just support the play all you can. And real true play, interactive play, outdoor play, not just, you know, stuff on a tablet. All right. Okay, so at age 9, we go into the 2-2. Now please be aware, 2-2, that all double cycles are super powerful, because they're double energy for a particular chakra. And the second chakra is a chakra you want to double. It's amazing. This world is actually, since 2012, we've really moved into the divine feminine energy. The sacral energy is easygoing, it's fun, it's emotional, emotive in a fun way, it's creative, it's playful, it's joyous, it's just this amazingly connected and awesome energy. So to have double that, what you're going to see is your child's suddenly going to make the friendships way more important. She's going to put way more importance on her friendships, and hopefully you'll even see she'll come back with like a BFF charm or something like this. She's got a best friend. Now it might not seem like a big deal to you, but it is to her. So really, really honor that, be in it with her. Oh, how nice that you have this best friend. Help her have sleepovers, or excuse me, help her have sleepovers, or whatever it is that she wants to do with her friend, okay? Help to make those things happen. I have a friend of mine who actually, she is an intuitive, okay? So this is not a client, although we help each other. She's a friend, and she called me. She's an intuitive. She naturally feels these chakra life cycles, because these are naturally within us. But my programs and videos are to help you actually understand them and work with them. Anyway, she called me, not me, her, and said, I'm moving. I said, I can't believe it. You love your house. Why? And she said, because her daughter, who was 9 in her 2-2 cycle, because her daughter needed to make like a best friend friend. I was like, oh my God, you're so right on the cycles. And we laughed together. And I said, well, why are you moving? And she said, because her daughter had been quite a loner in the root cycle stage, and she'd sort of been labeled like that. And she felt like her daughter needed to change schools in order to find more friends and to find that best friend. She knew her daughter needed that intimate best friend. Isn't that cool? She actually felt that. So I validated, I read her, I'd already written the part in my book about the 2-2 cycle, and I read that to her, and we both laughed. And anyway, you don't have to be an intuitive. You can use these videos, okay? But there's some evidence that it's coming from within. My friend called me with that information. Okay, so 2-2 is a year of lots of emotion, lots of creativity, lots of play, and most importantly, a real need, real need for intimacy. So what I said last year about your child needing some one-on-one time is even more true this year. Okay, and then we go into 2-3. Now realize this fire energy is the opposite of the water energy. 2-3, water and fire. This fire is a snippet of what's coming when your child turns 15, but it won't be bad at all, because your child's predominant energy here is playful intimacy, and your child wants to be actually connected with you. Really, your child wants to talk to you on a more personal level and be closer, be tucked in, and really tucked in at night. And or if they're too old for being tucked in at night, you know, many are growing up really quick these days. It's like a I love you hug, a kiss, little inside things that you do that your child knows about. But do you realize this? At 10, your child's going to take a big leap in independence. It's not going to be at all difficult to deal with as it can be at 15. It's because it's minor. But it's going to come out in little ways, like your child's suddenly going to be more adamant about what they want to wear, because social identity and what her friends think is going to be really important right now. So she's going to say, I want these shoes or this pants or whatever. And if she's not doing that, maybe even encourage her. Maybe say, what do you want? Like, elicit your child's opinion during this year, and you're going to do a lot for her. Give her little tasks that she can do on her own to build her independence, and it's going to be really important this year, because it's going to help her to build that fire that's going to become super important between 15 and 21, when she's becoming a true adult. Okay? So in this adolescent phase, give her some challenges this year. Ask her what her passions are. Allow her to express her emotions, because the fire of the 3 is probably going to fuel her emotions. And she might be just a tad, not much, because water's easygoing, but she might be just a tad more quick fire energy or anger, you know, like that kind of stuff. And if that comes up, no, that's just perfect development. Okay? So do realize school identity, even relationship identity. I had my first little puppy love relationship at 10, and I actually remember feeling like, oh, I'm in a relationship, you know? And I also remember he ended up breaking up with me in public, like yelling across the monkey bars or something, you know? So you get both sides of the coin, right? But I just remember how cool it felt. So there's going to be some identity around relationships. Identity is 3, especially social identity and relationships. So having especially like either a really cool best friend or a boyfriend-girlfriend type thing, even though it won't be like much of a real relationship, it might pop up this year. Okay, age 11 goes into 2-4. Now realize this is feminine energy. Oh my God, this is such a lovey-dovey year. It's a great year to do things with family or greater groups of friends. That 2 is still there, but it's not just about one-on-one. It becomes about connection to the whole family, to the whole group, to a big friendship group. So encourage your child, if she's involved in any kind of organizations where she gets to be interpersonal, that she does that, because that'll really be good. Encourage her school activities where she's with friends. Encourage her extra activities if she's doing some kind of sport, especially if she's doing anything creative outside of school. Really encourage that, especially with groups, because 2 is creative and 4 is connection to others. Also encourage her to really be creative about what's in her heart, because 4 is the heart energy, right? It's the love, and if she's putting hearts on everything and being creative about that, just help her do that. So say, go for that. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's great, right? And also, this could be a year of puppy love. I'm just warning you, because 2 and 4, 2 is intimacy, 4 is heart. So she could fall into a hard crush or even a little relationship, a beginner love relationship, okay? I know it feels young. Your kid's growing up quickly. I get it. Now let's move on to 12. 12 is 2-5. 2 and 5 get along so well, but this is the first of the higher chakras. And I find that there's often radical shifts in one's life. If you look at a lot of actors, they actually have their parents divorced at this time. I've seen it over and over and over again. If you look at a lot of creative people, they had some event in their life that was really pivotal, especially around partnership or creativity or emotions. And so divorce is the obvious one. Well, that actually happens a lot, and I've seen it way more than statistically normal, especially with like actors when I've seen them interviewed and stuff. So this is a year where your child's going to grow up a lot. You're going to see a huge leap in maturity because she's just come into her 5th, which is a spiritual, the first of the spiritual. All the chakras are spiritual, but it's the first of the upper spiritually oriented, spiritually thinking chakras. She's going to want to express herself right now. So I've been telling you to allow her to express her emotions, but oh my heavens, it is so important right now, this year. Year 12. She's in this pivotal place between being a child and an adult. And so please, one thing I'm going to ask you to do is please don't say just grow up or just get over it. Okay? Because she's in a pivotal time where she needs to be allowed to feel her emotions and even feel her, what she considers her childhood losses, or, you know what I mean, things that might almost be immature, but at the same time, it's very mature to feel one's emotions and to be able to express them in a way that's healthy and good, not resistant, not blocking, or not over gushing. So allow her to just be her emotions this year. Encourage her to express. Maybe get her a journal. This is a fantastic year to begin journaling because she's starting to think about things and how she feels about them. I highly recommend a journal as a gift, and to put a padlock on it, you know, one of those little locks, so she knows you're giving it to her as a gift for her to have her own privacy, and what she wants to share with you, great. What she doesn't, that's great too. You just want her to be clear with herself, to begin to think things through, and to allow herself to feel and express all of her emotions. And if your child's in anything creative, this is a mastery year. Like if she's been doing a musical instrument or dancing or anything creative, this is a year she can really soar if you support her. And again, keep it fun and don't stop any of the emotions around it, okay? Support all of her emotions around it. Okay, so now let's go into 13, which is 2-6. So we're moving up in the chakras. 6 is the highest feminine, 2 is the lowest feminine. So this is a beautiful place to be. Your girl is feeling her budding sensuality and sexuality. She's becoming a young woman, but she's also becoming very wise. Be willing to ask her opinion on things this year, not the way you did when she was 10 and in her 2-3, because that was more to just get her to feel her own opinions, and her opinions probably weren't too deep then. But now she's actually in a pretty clear place. You might even ask her opinion on something you want to know about, because she is connecting into her highest self and her intuition. She's a font for that. All right? Encourage her to feel into her body and her emotions intuitively. Encourage her to follow her intuition and her insight and her imagination about creative projects. Encourage her to go inward if she needs to. Be okay if she's spending a little more alone time, and just understand that it's a little more inward year. Actually, maybe teach her meditation at this time if she's open to it, and show her how to look within. Make it an active meditation where she feels into her body all the way down into her sacral. Make it about the creative second chakra. Can she feel down into the womb space and really feel what's down there creatively, emotionally, and even just feminine energy-wise for her? All right? Finally, we come to the last year, the penultimate year, the 2-7. And this one, I want to tell you, please just realize this is like a feast for your relationship with your child. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Don't let one moment in this 14th year go by without you enjoying your relationship with your child, the back and forth. Because at the end of this year, maybe even at the last 3 months of 14, the fire energy of the solar plexus chakra comes in. That's going to be in for the next 7 years. And this is the energy of get out, I don't need it, I'm independent, I don't need you. The more I respect you, the more I need you to get out of my way so that I can actually create my own opinion. So there's this whole other energy coming in. And it might not be as extreme as I'm saying, but it could be. And it often is. So enjoy the lovey-dovey second chakra, the end of it, because 2 is water, easygoing, totally oriented toward intimate relationship. And the 7 is spiritual. It's wise, it's open, it's connected to all. So your child is in such a beautiful, easygoing, wiser, sweeter place, at least for the first half or first 3/4 of this year. So milk it for all it's worth, enjoy the heck out of it. And if you have a spiritual life with your child, if you go to a same church, you have a spiritual life, or even nature, camping, the universe, doing yoga, you know, whatever it is that you do with your child, do more of it this year with your child, and it will be the best way to bond with the 2 and the 7 energies. Okay, so I already warned you a little bit about what's coming up. Those are the 7 years of the second chakra cycle. This is an amazing, amazing cycle. It's so playful, so fun. Enjoy it with your child, and make the most of the one-on-one connection that you can create with your child during these years. Be aware, I didn't talk so much that the sexuality is budding too, so I just want to mention, especially when we hit the 2-3 year, you know, there's like this desire to don't worry, they won't act on it. We'll get into that when we get into the 3rd chakra. We get into the 3rd chakra, now we're starting to talk about where we need to really be aware of our child's awareness around sexuality, okay? But I also want you to be aware here that you're building your child's belief around sexuality during this period as they build, as they mature in reproductive ways. So be aware, there's a lot of hormones moving through. Acne comes up, awkwardness is feel, because their whole body is moving and changing the way that water changes. And support your child around this entire phase, and see if you can't open many conversations around what it means to change hormonally, what it means to reproduce, so that it doesn't seem unnatural, it doesn't seem like anything hidden or secretive when they get to the next cycle and they might want to take more independence. At that time, they're not being rebellious to you around sexuality, because you've had good open talks around it from a very natural place. I hope that makes sense. Okay, Spirit just wanted me to add that in. I could just feel it and I couldn't let it go. My name is Vicki Howie, and I'm the creator of the Chakra Life Cycles, and it is my joy to take you through this tour, and I can't wait to see you on the next video, whichever one you choose. Blessings.